Okay, so I've recently installed a whole LightwaveRF central heating control, the new Link Plus with a view to start setting up with Apple HomeKit, and I've been finding it really unreliable. So what I thought I'd do is I'd record this video just really to share with the LightwaveRF support people, because it's the sort of thing that it's easier to show what I'm experiencing than try and describe or write it down. So what I think I've worked out is, I think there's 5 main areas where I think I'm having problems. 2 of which I think are probably sourced, but I'll just talk through them anyway. And the other 3, I don't think I'm getting any closer, to be honest. I need help. So the first one was when I first set it up, and it was just really crazy as a system. I had instances where it was just going always on with the boiler, or never coming on, despite what I did with the thermostats and so on. So that made the house either super hot, the house was getting up to like sauna type temperatures, 29 degrees sort of things. It was ridiculous. Or just not coming on time and just going stone cold. Now, I think I've sorted that out because I rang the support shortly afterwards and they explained that I didn't quite have it set up right. So what I thought I was doing was I thought I needed to just link all the devices, the boiler switch, the thermostat, and the radiator valves with the Link Plus. So actually, I went in and I added the device and I went into the heating and actually added the boiler switch as a device. And I've learned that actually that's the wrong thing to do, that they told me. So it's a bit confusing that the boiler switch was there as something that was available to be linked. But what I since learned was that instead, I wasn't to link the boiler switch to the Link Plus with the app. What I was supposed to do was link the boiler switch to the thermostat with the link buttons, and then link the thermostats to Link Plus hub, which is what I did. And then since then, this problem, number 1 in my list, seems to have gone away. So I think that's sorted. I kind of think maybe somebody at LightwaveRF maybe wants to make the instructions a bit clearer on that, because that wasn't clear to me. I think as well there's been one rogue radiator. It was in our guest room, and I think that's sorted. I think I sorted that this morning. I was finding that at various times that room was getting super hot as well, despite the fact that that's the room that we just set to 10 degrees, just because it's a room that we don't really use. And I found that room was just getting super hot, 20 odd degrees, 23 sometimes, and yet it was set to 10 degrees itself. And so I think I've sorted that this morning. Basically all I did was I took the batteries out and put them back in again, and it recalibrated itself on the valve, and it seems to have been behaving itself today. So I think that one's sorted. Then the last 3 though, I think are still just making it super crazy, unpredictable, and I'm really getting quite frustrated with it, if I'm honest. So the first of all is that HomeKit scenes and the scheduling and all that, it just never seems to work properly. So probably best to show what I mean. So I've set up various scenes, at home and away, night and wake up scene, and I've used the automation. So it's weekdays or weekends do the wake up scene, and then when we all leave or arrive, do the home or the away scene. So I've set those up. The problem being, I've got it in the at home mode. I kind of tried to get into a stable state before I showed you this, is that it just never seems to work fully. It'll always work, so a few of the radiators, but not all of them, and it's a bit random. So just to demonstrate it, if I just do the away scene, it'll sit there and it'll rumble away. And this away scene sets virtually everything back down to 10, is how I set it up. You might be able to hear the radiator valves running away in the kitchen here where I'm at, so it's clearly doing something. Just give it a little bit of time, and yeah, it's not really applied. So the kitchen's gone to 10 as I expected. The main living room thermostat is still at 20, that should have gone to 10. That one's applied at 10, 10, 10, 10. That's, I think they should be 10 as well. I'll just check what the scene said. Yeah, everything should be set into 10 for that scene, but as you can see, for partial success, these 3 didn't set, and the main house thermostat this time didn't set. Now if I went in and I manually finished the job off, and it shows the away scene's finally got there. And it seems to me it's random, which radiators work, which don't, or the thermostat, whether that works or not. There's no predicting what it'll do. And this just makes the whole system just completely unreliable for any kind of scheduling or automation, because you just never know what it's going to succeed or fail with. And I don't think I've ever had it where everything's set. When I first set this up last week, I initially did it with just the thermostat and 5 of the radiators. I didn't do the full house, and it was equally unreliable. I've since gone around and added the last 5, so I've now got the 10 radiators set up, and it's still unreliable. Yeah, it's just can't predict it. Now, one thing I have noticed is that if I go into the Lightwave, so at the minute it's cancel that. It'll show I set the away scene manually, so everything's at 10. If I just do it through the HomePod instead, just because it was interesting to see what this app sees it doing. So if I do, hey Siri, set the at home scene.
Just a moment.
And you'll see it's starting to do its job.
I'm sending the scene to HomeKit.
So it's going around the radiators. They all seem to be going. Give it a little bit of time. They were, for this scene, they should stay at 10, so that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. And then suddenly a whole load of them just gone back again, but some of them have stuck. So that lounge one there, you notice the lounge radiator and the thermostat were up at 20, they've gone back down to 10 again. So it's, when you see it from this side, it's like it applies the full scene for a few seconds, and then a random number of them will just go back to what they were before. So maybe if I do another scene, the night scene. So, hey Siri, set the night scene.
I'm on it.
So there you go, they're updating. 10.
1 moment.
15.
I'm
10,
sending the scene to HomeKit.
15. So this seems to be setting it what I expect it to. Bedroom hasn't done it yet. Yep, bedroom. It's gone up to where I expect it. And give it a second. So that looks like it's set the scene, and then everything falls back again. A random number of them will go back to what they were before. So the wardrobe stuck, but the bedroom didn't. So yeah, they're just two radiators that operate at opposite ends of the same bedroom. So I'll call that one the wardrobe radiator. But yeah, you saw that they're both set to 17 for the night scene. That's set. But one of them reversed back to 10, the other one stuck. So it's just, like I say, just completely random what does or doesn't stick. I have had a few instances, I took a screenshot of where it was just doing crazy stupid things. If I bring up this is just my photos. I took this screenshot yesterday, and this is an example where the thermostat was set to 15, but it was still going, even though the thermostat was reading 19.3 degrees. And then there was on this one. Oh, that's when the guest radiator that I think I fixed this morning, but that shows it was going up to 22 degrees, and that had been set at 10 degrees all day long. There's no reason that room should have got that hot, and I touched the radiator, it was hot. But that's I think number 2. So that one I think sorted. But clearly, yeah, that's an example where it's doing the opposite of what I'd expect. You know, when that thermostat got that high to 19 and it's set to 15, it shouldn't still be going, but the boiler was going. So this is number 4. Just, it's not all the time, but there's just random times when you think it's doing the complete opposite behaviour to what you expect. You know, you'd imagine maybe within a degree or two, maybe it's got a bit of a tolerance, but when it's several degrees out, it should have shut that thermostat, shut the boiler off by that stage, but it didn't. So if you layer that on top, there's a few unreliable times when it's just doing the opposite behaviour. And then the 5th one is that, and I spoke to the person at Support about this, and he reckons that it's coming soon, but this call for heat functionality is really needed. This is where it's not really behaving like what I'd expect it to do for this sort of smart heating system. So a classic example is maybe on an evening we might set up a scene, or just have it set up and the lounge is getting nice and warm during the evening, and then I want to warm the bedroom up using this system before I go to bed. And so I've got the night scene that I set up, or I might be setting it manually. But the problem being is that the lounge is warm, so the thermostat's in the lounge, so the boiler's never going to come on, and it doesn't matter what you set the bedroom to, it's never going to fire up the boiler, because the boiler is set by the thermostat in the living room. So the radiator that's in the bedroom is never going to get any heat, even if its thermostat is needing it. So it's the only way around it seems, is to manually go in and artificially tell it to heat the living room even more, just so you can get some heat to the bedroom, even though it's like a time that you're wanting the living room to maybe just cool down because it's the end of the day. So I described this problem to the support guy, and he said, yes, that's call for heat. That is what I need, where the radiator valves can individually ask the boiler to be switched on, not just the main house thermostat. And that's what I need for what I was kind of expecting it to do. And he told me that that's not supported with Link Plus, the HomeKit hub. But he said it was with the previous link, and it's something that they're working on. So he said it's coming soon. So I kind of think, right, okay, that one of these three, I probably just need to wait, I guess. But how long, I don't know, because it's not really doing the job we need it to. We've got cold bedroom scenario at the moment, unless we, manually override or do something to get the bedroom warmed up. So this is really sorely needed. And the point being is, if you take 3, 4, and 5 together, all this has just made it a really horrible experience. So all these things, the whole system is just crazy unpredictable. It's unreliable. I'm on the verge of just, I might just take all these thermostats off the radiators and put the old ones back at the moment, because it's just not usable. I'm always having to manually adjust stuff just to get it to go. I'm always having to check it, see what it actually has done versus what I expect it to do. You can't rely on the automation from HomeKit or anything like that. It just is completely undependable. And then it's just resulting in scenarios where we've got crazy hot rooms or crazy cold rooms when we're not expecting it. And it's just, it's just not fit for purpose at the moment, really. So if I assume that 5 is going to get sorted sometime soon, hopefully anyway, like the guy in support, so it said, but I'm struggling with these two. Why it's doing this is beyond me. I've run out of ideas of things I could try as well. So if anybody at Lightwave can help me, that'd be great. One other thing that has crossed my mind, I might be back at the wrong tree, but I did notice when I got all my kit, all the boxes for the radiator thermostats were all sealed and fine. But the Link Plus box was opened, and it looked to me as though it should have had a cellophane cover to protect it, that protects it before you first use it. That looked like it had been taken off and put back on. So the whole box and the Lightwave Link Plus hub unit, they looked to me like somebody had it before and maybe returned it. I don't know if I've maybe had somebody else return. So that's just made me think, have I got a faulty Link Plus? But I don't know. Maybe somebody else has had similar issues and returned it, and I've got their dodgy one maybe. I don't know. It's just a thought that's crossed my mind. I might be back at the wrong tree. Maybe it's just a software issue, I don't know. But I'd really appreciate some help on this situation. Thanks.